I'm so sorry, Kamaile, to interrupt. We still can't hear you folks. Halamai.
Mahalo. Let me start over. Hawaiian kind, right? Forgiveness. Aloha. Aloha. We are broadcasting to you live from the University of Utah Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine. We are so grateful to have you all here tonight and our audience in person. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kamaile Tripp Harris. My parents are Noelette and Anthony Phillips of Waimea. Hi, Mom. And Henry Tripp of Kapolei. My grandparents were Carl and Mama Willing of Honolulu, and Robert and Irene Kealoha Tripp of Hilo. Thank you. I want to mahalo to our Ute Tribe Council for being here. We humbly acknowledge that this land on which we gather, named for the Ute tribe, is the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Shoshone, Paiute, Goshute, Navajo, and Ute peoples. This land has long been a crossroad for Indigenous nations, and we honor the enduring relationship between Indigenous peoples and their homelands. We give gratitude for the privilege of being here today. We respect Utah's Indigenous peoples, the original stewards of this land. We honor the sovereign relationships that exist between tribal nations, the state of Utah, and the United States government and the state of Hawaii. Today, Utah is home to about 79,000 American Indian and Alaskan Native peoples, as well as nearly 50,000 Pacific Islanders, of which 3,500 Hawaiians have also made their home in this land. May the earth that sustains us and the shared lifetimes that connects us carry forward the peace, resilience, and wisdom of our ancestors. We are grateful and honored to call Utah home. Right now, I would like to invite the great Ute Tribe Council to join us at the podium. Thank you so much. Oh, is it okay if I too soon? Would you like the microphone? You don't.
So you see that you can like so they see the curve, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mike. Put that to one. Good evening. Then idea, Mike Natchez, and my name is Mike Natchez. I'm proud to say that I serve on the Unity Tribe Business Committee as one of the UN Band representatives and also the vice chairman. And I'm joined here alongside Sean Chapoose from the Compagri Band, and also he's the chairman of the Unity Tribe Business Committee. And I'm really pleased to be here and to be able to say a word of a prayer on our behalf. It's good that we come here, and I'm really glad that we were able to be acknowledged like this, because this valley here is the traditional homeland of the Ute people, particularly my band, the Uinta people. This is still Ute country from here all the way down into northern Arizona and into stretches into Colorado. And in thinking about this, it's unique how we kind of come together like this, especially in this time where it seems like diversity is becoming more and more a bad word or even an idea to people, when in reality it shouldn't be that way. We should celebrate that. and embrace that diversity amongst ourselves. But even with that, we have similarities with our culture and the native Hawaiian culture. We all have strong ties to our land bases. We have strong ties to our cultural beliefs and the way that we think about things. We've all experienced colonialism and the devastation that wrought upon us. But yet still, we're still able to gather, and we're still able to come together like this and celebrate and embrace our differences, but at the same time embrace those similarities like that. And you might understand, the Hawaiian people have strong ties to the land, much like the Utes did. And we also have a very strong spiritual belief and background. And so again, I'm just really honored to be here and to offer a prayer on my behalf. Watching the promo of its Jesus. The one which I have to which the way out here. One thing wrong with it. One thing wrong with it. The book of what game do we Nuchu? Come on, Nuchu. What the fuck about Nuchu? One thing wrong with it. I have been Nike. Here this evening time, one thing wrong with it. One God. Say a word of prayer, and I give my thanks to you, the Almighty, for all the blessings that you've given us that have brought us here, that have brought us to this point. And so here with this hour that's upon us, I'm asking for something good for each and every one of us, that you can look down upon us in a good way and you can bless us. Each and every one of us here, that we all have worries and we have concerns, different things like that are on our mind, different things that might be bothering us. But here with this evening time with this prayer, I'm asking that you can look down upon us in a good way, and you can help ease those burdens from us. But we all have home places that we come from. One God, we all have loved ones, relatives, friends, different ones that we think about here at this time. One to grow up for this evening, and before the sun goes down, I want to ask something good for them at this time, this hour, that you can look down upon the home places that we come from, our peoples that we have, the home places that we have, the land that we all come from. One of the Roma, you can give us a good blessing here and take care of us here with that. One of the Roma, we have different things that we want to share with each other here in this evening. One God, and so I'm asking that everything can be all right. Bless us all with good health as we maneuver here at this winter time that's going to be upon us. Different things like different illnesses, sicknesses, and things like that come with the cold. It also brings about renewal to one of God. So I'm asking that you look down upon each and every one of us, and you can give us that good health, make it through the winter and see the springtime, the new year that's going to be coming again. Here in one of them, to bless our minds the way that we think you can take care of us like that we can always have a good, positive mental attitude. We can think something good for ourselves. We can use the minds that we have to do something good with that. One of them, bless our mind like that. Bless us too. One people which in Jesus bless us spiritually as well, so that when we fall upon hard times, or even when we do have good times and we want to give thanks, one of God, and we pray to you, and that you can listen to each and every one of us, the different beliefs that we have, be respectful of one another like that. And so, the prayers that are offered, that you can continue to listen to us and bless us all like that in a good way. So one of people good here with that. Again, those who are in need of a word of prayer this evening, I'm always thinking about people like that, those who are having hardships, different things. You can look down upon them on our behalf, and you can take care of people like that, those who are sick, incarcerated, those who are struggling with different things. One God can take care of our people like that here in a good ways here. Again, and give my thanks and my praise to you this evening time. One of the room of good. And so with that, say amen.
Amen.
Each and every one of you, something good. Take a good blessing back home with you. The way I move.
Thank you so much. Before you go, we'd like to share a gift with you.
We'd like to get a picture with the folks.
Is that all right if we ask all of our youth tribe cousins to come up and get a photo with us? And then we will have our performance.
Here's our photographer. We need our photographer. Someone with an iPhone.
Uncle is telling you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Derek.
Here's.
No, would you mind going this way though, so that the light is not on your face?
So we'd like to say mahalo to our brothers and sisters that came from afar. I think he came from Vermont, yes? Or to Shane. So we're so happy to have you to share with you this evening. And this is a little something of our appreciation. So mahalo. Mahalo. We get a picture? Okay, Mom, thank you.
Mahalo. Thank you so much for the honor of having your presence here. That is Uncle Suli. Strap.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
You're going to stay here.
These connections that we have as Indigenous people are so important. I've given presentations about Hawaii a lot and our agricultural systems and our ways of life. And my friends from the Native American community always say, you sound like you're talking from one of my people. Like you're one of my folks. And I'm like, that's right, we're connected. So I would love to turn the time over to Kumu Blackman. You got the music, Auntie? Oh, she's got it. Awesome. Mahalo. Would you please introduce your hala? You don't need it. Just talk.
I have a microphone. We are Halaku Pono I Kamalani, and my name is Kahelani Ohumukini Blackman. Tonight we're going to ask for welcome and to give thanks for allowing us here. We're going to do a mele entitled Kelalina Maine Kikini Olahu. It's found its way back to being performed more and more in recent years, and we would like to do that for you tonight. No anakia boy kana le ke ki upo and kino maluiga ni maluiga no mai kia ko I kona maukahu o makono makono e Kiralina mai ke kini o lalo na wa kauka na hele o puna a pahi kano kaua I kauka no o ka te ka papa I lohia alo ka lohelani a ki ilani la e la e Wama na okane I ka ua ka ke hai ka uluna ua I olani I ka moena I bui ai ke ka pakano he o ka ho'o paakari a kini la hula e ala a Carolina, my name, taking me all out. Now, o kauka, na hele o puta, atagi, no kauai kaukagi, no o kane kapapa, I lohila, alo kalohelan, api ila nila, egala, woman, kane I kawa. Wakau ke hai ka uluna. Wahi olani I ka moena. I puia ke kapa kano hei. O ka ho o pa akari. A kini laula. E hara e hara. Aie. Mahalo, kumu kehelani, Black men from the Halau ku Pono I Kamalani. We're so grateful for your presence tonight. Now, I'd love to share my screen again for our audience back home in Hawaii and around the world. Now, we'd just like to thank our supporters. Okay, I'd like to thank my Office of Academic Culture and Community and my boss, Donna Eldridge, who is our Director of Academic Culture and Community, where our mission is to create a welcoming and respectful environment in academic medicine for people from all backgrounds, and to actively recruit and foster the development of the workforce that reflects the communities they serve. Our core values are climate, to create culture and climate, to foster respect, inclusion, and collaboration, recruitment to expand our diverse talent, retention to keep them engaged and provide them that longitudinal educational support, and create fair policies that hold us accountable as an institution, and then to continue to strengthen our partnerships with our local tribes in rural areas and around in our underserved communities. Thank you, Donna. And then I'd also like to recognize Dr. Kalani Raphael and Dr. William Holland, who are both from Hawaii, for their contribution with their Haumana o Pacifica program. They empower Native Hawaiian and Pacific Island undergraduate students and recent graduates by providing research, mentoring, career development to increase our NHPI representation in health, science, and medicine. There's a QR code here for you to scan if you're interested in joining their research program. They'll make sure, Dr. Holland says his job is to make sure you get paid. And it's wonderful. Our students come out to Utah and I find out I'm related to a lot of them, of course, but it's great always to be connected with them. Their passion to serve the community is certainly resilient, and we appreciate them. Thank you to our partners. Okay. So I begged Uncle Suli to let me do a live sketch of our queen because I know that people around the world and in this room may not know her life's contributions. And as I am in education and public health, I wanted to focus on her contributions to education and her culture and her lasting legacy. So Queen Liliuokalani was born in 1838 in the Kingdom of Hawaii. She attended the Chief's Children's School, where she studied English, Latin, and Hawaiian. She learned about history and governance, about Western political systems, and Hawaiian traditions. She knew piano, voice, and composition. Her cultural contributions consist of not only, but I wanted to highlight that she composed over 160 songs that still live on today, including the iconic Aloha Oe. And she advocated for Hawaiian language and traditions during a time of cultural suppression. And I feel like we're experiencing that today.
She authored Hawaii's Story by Hawaii's Queen, a first-hand account of the overthrow. And she translated our kumulipo, which is our ancestral line lineage, to English. I think she had foresight that some of her people will speak English because they did become the most literate people of their time in the 1800s. And I wanted to say that she maintained dignity, and her documentation of what happened in her time fuels the passion that we have to continue the fight for sovereignty. And I think as a people, we can unite under that banner still today. Her legacy in healthcare. So I couldn't do this story without including my hero, Queen Emma. I didn't know what connection I had with her until my friend JR told me, no wonder you're so passionate about public health. And I'm like, yeah, I used to spend summers at the summer home, Queen Emma Summer Home, and learn about her stories and the tragic loss of her husband and son, and her fight to keep our cousins affected by leprosy in resources. So my job for the University of Utah at the School of Medicine is to be a community health worker and bring resources to those who are underserved or otherwise need support. So I feel like she was a community health worker too. But our queen, Liliuokalani, she raised funds to support the hospital foundation, going door to door to gather donations. She advocated for Native Hawaiian health, supporting Queen Emma's mission to combat epidemics like smallpox. And she laid the foundation for future care, inspiring her later creation of the Queen Liliuokalani Children's Center that still exists today and cares for children who do not have families to take care of them. I'm sorry, I forgot the picture, but I think you need to put your picture here. This should have been a mirror image. And what I wanted to demonstrate here is that she wrote history for us. And this was what she said about the overthrow. She said, I yield to the superior force of the United States of America. And she listed the name of the person. And then she talked about the troops that landed at Honolulu and declared that he would support that she would support the provisional government, that he would support the provisional government, which was taking over our kingdom. There's a lot of history there to unpack. It's like a layer of onion. But I encourage you to find out about people's history. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to go back here. Okay. The point of this Hawaiian heritage celebration throughout our state of Hawaii and throughout the world is to share Queen Liliuokalani's legacy and to, of course, uplift our own people. A lot of people in the state of Utah contribute to our success as a Pacific Island people. As you know, Chief of War is happening. And it used to be her Kane's art that I had to imagine what my people lived like and looked like in the ancient times. But thanks to our cousin Jason and the others who contribute to the film. And I also want to introduce you to one of our local filmmakers who is also a descendant of Iosepa to come and introduce his video. Mike Sadowski, would you please join me up at the podium? We have our protocol.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for everybody who is making time tonight to come here and learn about the Hawaiian culture and specifically about a special place called Iosepa. I'll try to make this brief, but I remember going to Skull Valley, Utah, which is about 70 miles west of Salt Lake, when I was a little kid, and it was it was not a fun place to go when you're a little kid. But the grass was up about this high, bugs everywhere. It was dry. Had to be creative of finding a place to use the restroom. But really, that from an early age, my parents' desire to take us there would really kind of blossom this connection that I had to this place, a place that I call sacred. And I've been, I feel really honored to have a direct family connection there. My grandmother, Wilda Mahoi Sadowski, is the youngest of 14 kids. She is the only child in that family that was born and raised in Hawaii. She had an older brother, just older than her, that passed away shortly after childbirth, and he was born in Hawaii. But all of her siblings were born and raised in Utah. And when you consider that all pure-blood Hawaiians born and raised in Utah, it's a very extraordinary story, a story I've always been fascinated of. And when I was asked to do this, what I have here is a bit of some wallpaper of some images of Iosepa today and the faces of those who used to live there. And I'm incredibly grateful for my connection there. It's a very special place, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to share a little bit with you.
Early in the morning, about 5 o'clock, people were all awakened to music coming from the mountains, and everybody would get up and go out and see where this music was coming from. And here was the Hawaiian saints coming from Iosepa, going, walking through snow and everything, singing hymns and going to state conference. They were strong people. They were the stalwarts. I think it's amazing, especially these people coming from a place that is so green, so beautiful, ocean, water all around, coming to a place where the only water was the Great Salt Lake. loved this area so much that when it was time for them to leave, it was so hard. That's why the women cried. And the reason the women were crying was because many of them were leaving family members behind here in the cemetery, where we come every year to celebrate and commemorate, you know, the things that they've done.
Mike, mahalo. I think you're in New York when you were putting this together, is that right? On a work assignment? Baltimore. So I think I gave Mike maybe 2 weeks, 10 days to put this together. So again, wonderful job. Big hand for Mike.
Thank you. Really, thank you for asking me. I just wanted to add that I just felt this need to centralize a collection. So for any of those of you who are connected to Iosepa, a lot of those photos was those are my aunties and family, my great grandmother and my great grandfather, and we're trying to build a centralized collection of old historic photos, so the story of Iosepa can be shared for generations to come. So if you know of anybody who has those photos, I'm actively trying to find that to preserve their story and share their love. And it's a great love that exists at Iosepa. If you ever have time to go there, please do.
Thank you, Mike. How many have been to Iosepa before? Just raise your hand. And how many remember Mike as a little kid? Raise your hand. I think he's little Pilau, yeah? Little rascal. But again, mahalo, we appreciate you being here and providing that beautiful way to, again, introduce to you Iosepa. So my name is Suli Lester Kealoha Onolani Stroud. I am a member of the Hawaii Onui Coalition Foundation. We're based in Hawaii. And since 2007, we have been an organization whose mission is to educate the residents and visitors that come to Hawaii about Hawaii's true history. And so again, we've been doing that since 2007. One of our signature events is the Onipa'a celebration that we always have on the Queen's birthday, September 2nd. We also do historical plays. So the plays are done with actors that are in their period costumes. We have the Mai Poina trilogy, which again honors our queen. And we have 3 plays: The Overthrow, The Trial of a Queen, and The Annexation Debate. And again, those plays we've put on for many, many years, and we'll continue to put those on. We're very pleased. Last year, we commissioned another play to be done. That play is a Kāʻeo Drumright, The Life of Prince Jonah Kuhio Kalaniani Oli. So Prince Kuhio was the delegate to Congress for 20 years. I might say a non-voting delegate to Congress. And yet through Prince Kuhio, we were able to establish, he was able to establish for the Hawaiian people many benefits that we enjoy today, Hawaiian homelands being one. So we honored Prince Kuhio again by commissioning this play. Again, we'll be actually taking the play to Molokai this coming March, and hopefully to Hawaii Island as well. In 2019, the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs put forth a resolution to recognize September as Hawaiian History Month. 2019, the legislature picked that up. They introduced it at the legislature. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, it was laid on the table and not looked at because of the pandemic. However, this year, we're excited to say Act 167 makes Hawaiian History Month official in the state of Hawaii.
Woo!
So again, we're so happy to see it. Now, this year, we've had Hawaiian History Month, even though it wasn't a recognized celebration in Hawaii. For the last 5 years, we've been hosting and having Hawaiian History Month. This year, though, we're honored and proud to take it outside of Hawaii. This Wednesday, there was a program on Kanaka Davis. You know who he is? He's the founder of San Diego. Isn't that amazing? So go to our website, you can watch that programming, but it talks about this incredible Hawaiian man at 28 years old, made quite a fortune. And with that fortune, helped to build and develop the town at that time of San Diego. Now, we're honored to have you here tonight to celebrate another wonderful story, history of our Hawaiian people. And again, that is Iosepa, the Pioneers of Aloha. Hawaiian History Month is to honor our queen. And tonight we have a beautiful halau that's going to come and present the Queen's Jubilee. Thanks. Come here. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
As they're coming out, I just want to give a little bit of history to these dresses. These dresses are over 30 years old. They were all made by my father, Maurice Keolo'omokini, and they were taken throughout the Hawaiian Islands and introduced here over the last decade when he made them in the 90s, highlighting some of the Queen's dresses that he replicated. The two in the front, the blue dress, is Queen Liliuokalani's black ribbon dress. And this black one with Ale Hulu. Can anybody tell me? We'll do some audience participation. What queen is she representing? I heard several. Let's see if somebody can give us the answer by the time our tribute is done. As we do for you, Queen's Jubilee. So for those that guessed Queen Kopiolani, you are correct. That is a Queen Kopiolani dress. It took months to do those apron feathers that were all hand stitched. Go ahead, Emma. I want to take a minute and thank you. Say thanks to Uncle for having us come up here and be a part of this. But I also want to pick on him because he really only gave us 3 weeks to restore these dresses. But much love and aloha.
Mahalo, beautiful, beautiful. That was so wonderful and fitting, and our brother Maurice, I know, is looking down with a big smile. And here's his lovely wife. What do you think about tonight? We love you. Yeah, truly a passion that Maurice had. Maurice was a great man, pillar in the community, one of the founders of the Hawaiian Civic Club here in Salt Lake City, as well as my brother, Alfred, and his wife, Marcia. So a lot of the reasons why we're here as a Civic Club is because of this front row here. So let's give them a big mahalo.
Sorry. I'll follow the best to me. My friends loved his culture. He loved his people. And he lived his life promoting every aspect that he could possibly do with every fiber of his being. And he made sure that all of his children were taught as much as he could possibly teach them while he was here, to be able to continue to perpetuate culture. Mahalo.
Again, mahalo for being here and for sharing your beautiful family. By the way, the food is provided also by the halau, so enjoy the eating afterwards. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Kamaile, and then standing in the wings is Christine.
Mahalo, Uncle, and love to Uncle Maurice. And now I'd love to invite Christine Walker to come and present her video. Thank you.
Christine, you said first. That's good.
My apologies. We're actually going to move on to my video. Let me just present this for our folks back home. And I need a tech crew. And yes, I'm pointing at you. See, your presence helps me, Andy. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so it is my honor to present my friend with appreciation. JR and I met because I was a part of a community engagement council for PBS Utah. They were looking for community members to speak for their own communities. That is what we need today. We need our partners to hand us the mic. JR and I met that first day. We had already had a 2-hour lunch meeting, and then we proceeded to speak for 3 hours after about Iosepa. And she was so excited to hear the stories that I learned from my aunties and my parents' involvement. I remember my dad, he helped build the Rock Road. He was so proud of my dad, Tony Phillips. He helped build the Rock Road up to Iosepa. And he would always scold me for driving too fast over it because it would kick the dust up. So now until this day, I'll drive slow down that road and think of my dad. My brothers and my dad also helped build the pavilion that exists today. And their legacy lives on in that space, so mahalo. So J.R. Hardman is the associate producer, operations manager, and technical director in film and media for PBS Utah. She has a film career where she has spent almost half of a lifetime creating a documentary about women who dressed as men during the Civil War. And she and I had the honor and opportunity to interview with Dr. Jonathan Osorio, who I understand is retiring. Enjoy your retirement, Kumu. I have spent my lifetime listening to Kumu Osorio's music, listening to his lectures, and watching his journey through education. And to call that man inspiring is an understatement. For our time, he was my example of what Hawaiians should be. So thank you, Kumu. And then JR, when she went to Hawaii with Ransom, I gave her a long list of things to see, and she saw all of it, from the craft seed store to the mausoleum where our ali'i are buried, to meeting with Dr. Jonathan Osorio to hear about our people. This is the kind of film that we need made. So JR holds a bachelor's degree in cinema, television production, and Spanish. And what I love about JR and her husband, Ransom, is that they love language, they love community, they love food, and they love people. They love us and our stories. She is a part of the documentary community and supports and advocates for better working conditions for producers. And if you ever want to be in film, help filmmakers, because they will pull you into their film. I've been in 2 films, one with Dwayne Anderson, and I did it because he said he wrote the role for me. And the second one was this production with J.R. Hardman, because she wouldn't stop filming me. I had to apologize for being in this so much, but I would love to honor my friend tonight and thank her for her valuable contribution to our history. J.R. Hardman. Please, speech.
I think the most incredible experience about getting to work on this project, and the privilege that I had that Kamaile offered me this opportunity to get to meet this community and to learn about the part of history that I didn't know. I see George and Michael, and getting to meet you and your family. And then we had the opportunity to present this video to the Hawaiian Film Festival here in Salt Lake City, and see people from all over the country and all over the world who were there to present other videos, get to also learn about this. The amazing response that we've had on YouTube of people from all over, actually a lot of people who have watched this video are in Hawaii. I think even more than people who have watched it in Utah, which means that this story is of interest and of importance. And getting to be part of Charmagne's family and Auntie Noe, who I think I saw. But it was such an honor to be welcomed into the community, to get to share in these stories and to get to help the community represent this history in the way that they want to. Knowing that it's a story of pride and of perseverance and of resilience and of remembering the ancestors all the way up through today. I love the work that you're doing, Michael, to find the photographs and to keep this history alive, and getting to be part of the celebration on Memorial Day, when everybody came together, along with the folks from the Go Shoot community who had made friends with the Hawaiians who were out in Iosepa. And I can't tell you what an honor it has been to get to learn about this part of history that I didn't know about before from the people whose ancestors lived it, and to be able to help them tell this story to a broader community who really needs to learn about this, because it's all of our story, it's all of our history, and more specifically the family members. But we are a broad community that can come together in love and celebration of who has brought us here into this place and who has made it possible for us to be together. So I just want to thank you so much for this honor and for your friendship and love, and thank you.
Mahalo, JR.
As the sun rises above Skull Valley, we are shining a light on a piece of unique history about this land. It's a place that beckoned Hawaiian pioneers more than 130 years ago, eventually paving the way for a community now growing faster than the state of Utah.
To all outsiders, this is a ghost town. That's why Native Hawaiians have to tell this story. I feel connected to this place because my people came here, they blessed this land with their caretaking. My name is Kamaile Tripp, and this is a gathering place for my people. This is a Memorial Weekend celebration that the Iosepa Historical Society puts on every year, and we have a camp out, and there's a community luau. Those things that we had established back home in Hawaii were reestablished. The luau was what took place to reunite us and bring us back together. So that's why we do it here at Iosepa. Iosepa means Joseph in Hawaiian, and a lot of people think that it was named after the prophet Joseph Smith, but it wasn't. It was named after his nephew, Joseph F. Smith, because he served a mission in Hawaii. When Joseph F. Smith was 15, being an orphan, he was sent on a mission by the church to Hawaii. And while he was there, he got really sick. And a woman by the name of Manuhi'i nursed him back to life. And their relationship would be the strong foundation that brought our people out here and the reason that they came to this land.
People want to come. They're drawn here, I think, being Hawaiian. It's a source of real pride, humble pride, though. Ha'a is what we call it. You always love where your people are, no matter where they are. This is John Kalainamoku. He was one of the 3 Hawaiians on the committee that chose Iosepa for the people to live at. And they loved this place because there was already a ranch, and there were some houses already there, and there was room for them to build more houses. And our people back home are ranchers and farmers.
They knew what they were looking for. They were looking for mountains that bear snow, because they understand ecosystems, and that land would be their spring water. Because these are all the things from our native Hawaiian agricultural systems. That's the knowledge they would have brought to Utah.
And this is what President Hinckley said. This was not the desert we see today. This was once a beautiful community and a part of a large mosaic of communities that our people established all over the West. And among them stood Iosepa as a gem of paradise brought from the islands of the Pacific to the deserts of the West. So that was important to me to know, because everybody says they bought that land and just threw them out there. I'm an amateur researcher, but when you love something so much, you just keep going. You don't know how to do it, you don't know what you're doing, but you just keep collecting, and somewhere somebody's gonna say, let me tell you how to do this.
Everybody finds their way to Iosepa in different ways, and they feel inspired to come back here, and then they keep coming back because they feel a profound connection to it. Spending time with Auntie Charmagne, you can't help but take on some of that responsibility, especially as a Hawaiian. We call it kuleana. It means responsibility, but also destiny. Auntie's work here in the community has been so profound. She wants us to know not just our language and symbols of our culture, but the deep meaning of it and how it connects us to our past and our future. It's still a place where our people are and can be and provide that generational education and wealth for everyone. Let's take a look. Hana Kaiapa in 1899 speech to National Council of Women. Iosepa resident urged support of women's voting rights efforts in the territory of Hawaii.
We welcome all of our guests to Iosepa on this momentous occasion to honor our beloved kupuna, Hana Kaiapa. We welcome the descendants who are led here by a special spirit, whose kupuna lie in the sacred pa'ilina. And once you come, you will never forget that spirit and you will seek it daily in your life. Coming here makes you proud because you have this legacy. But to have us reminded from time to time that we weren't just out here, we were out here doing something.
So this is the Salt Lake Herald from 1899. You can see it gives a summary of Hana Kaiapa's presentation in Washington, D.C.
One of the most interesting events during the meeting of the National Council of Women was the presentation to the Council of Hana Kaiapa, the young Hawaiian lady who came here with the Utah delegation. She made a few remarks urging support of ex-Queen Liliuokalani in her efforts to go to secure the ballot for the women of Hawaii.
Yeah, and Hawaii's just barely becoming a territory under the new government. And then they're fighting for women's rights to vote. That's so cool.
We had our first child here in Utah. My mother flew over to help. And then one of the first things she said to us is, I want to go to Iosepa. I went, we don't know where that is. So we had to drive up and down that Dugway Road. And so we went in. Hannah's mom, Makanoi, she's buried out there. And so we thought, wow, we have pioneers here in Utah.
When Hannah went to Washington, she fought for the rights of not only women to vote, but Native Hawaiian people. The Native Hawaiian people who lived in the United States didn't have any voting rights, and they weren't considered citizens of this country. I think of Auntie Noi and Auntie Charmaine's success when I see this plaque.
Navahine Oya I'o o Iosepa, the faithful women of Iosepa. Yeah, that's our theme this year because of Hannah. It's time for people to know, because we really were a matriarchal society. We thought our women were pretty cool. I still do.
You'll find when you search the internet that they say that Hawaiians abandoned Iosepa, but they didn't. They really wanted to stay. The generations had gone by long enough that the people who lived here were born here. So Joseph F. Smith, when he gets sick and is dying, he wants to prepare the people for the coming future. He tells them, I won't be here. You know, he basically says, I won't be here to advocate for you anymore.
And what he said too was, when I'm gone, they're not going to love you the way that I love you. And I want to make sure that you're okay. And so I want you to go home.
They would have stayed here if they had the opportunity to, but the church was selling the land and they were building a new temple so that they could go home to Hawaii and do the temple ordinances that they wanted to do here, now in Hawaii.
Even so, it was with reluctance that they abandoned their beloved town. Rosenberg quoted Alf Callister, a 12-year-old at the time, as saying that when the wagons were loaded to take the settlers away, the women refused to ride. Instead, they walked the distance to the railroad station, and with big tears running down their faces, kept looking back at their home and uttering, "Goodbye, Iosepa, goodbye, Iosepa."
Everything that the Native Hawaiian people had done, from leaving Hawaii, trusting Joseph F. Smith, coming to Skull Valley where it got colder than a lot of these Hawaiian people ever experienced in their lives. It was all done on faith and ushering a better future for themselves and their family. When we were here in May, it was standing room only almost. It was so crowded. It's because there were literally 4 or 5 generations of families here. The descendants of Iosepa have continued to take care of the land and share its history with us. I think a lot of us believe that we don't have pioneer ancestral roots because we're not descendants of those European ones. But yeah, you have to come out to Iosepa and you'll see that we were pioneers in our own right.
Wow, so many vibrant colors and characters who warm my heart simply by sharing their story. And we want to hear your journey too. Chime in on This Is Utah's Facebook, Instagram.
All right, hello, JR and PBS Utah. So I'm honored to introduce to you now Christine Walker to introduce her film.
It is, I'm Christine Yee. The other Christine Walker is, she's amazing. She's a filmmaker, and we're going to see a bit of her film toward the end of this panel. I am so grateful to be here with you tonight. And I actually met a lot of the panelists tonight through JR. I met Kamaile through JR. I think I met that day, actually Charmagne and Auntie Noelette. So I feel like it all has come back around, and I'm very, very grateful to be here. I teach high school, and in our high school, we started, actually when that fine gentleman at the very end of this table, when he was a senior in our school, we started a People of the Pacific class. And that year we just learned a bunch of dances and ate a lot of food. And the next year we had a little bit more substance, and we started working with PBS on short documentaries for less than 5 minutes. And as we were looking for stories that kind of told our history and brought us here, talked about sports and rugby, and we had a Hawaiian boy in our class who felt like he was disconnected. And I had read about Iosepa when I was living in California, and I mentioned that I was very angry that I didn't know about it. I felt like it was a part of history that was hidden from me as someone who grew up in Utah. Every year, like, we do pioneer treks, and I had no idea. And so our documentary was more about us and like our first experience going to, as the newspaper said it, a ghost town that came alive for a long weekend every year. And so we get there, and I'm very, very nervous. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what to expect. And I was overcome with gratitude. The spirit of aloha is real there. Everybody, when I talk to people who, the Needhams, their daughter went to our school, so I asked them about it. They're like, just come, just come. I said, who should I talk to? I said, no, just come, just come. Everyone I talked to said, just come, just come, just come. And I followed the GPS, and it took us out there, and it just kept on going. And I thought for sure it's going to stop. I just kept on going, and then went into the mountain. So I got there a little bit late. And when I got there, everyone was as kind and welcoming and wanted to share their stories and their history, their ancestors, and they wanted to share a lot of food with me too, and I was very grateful. Let me welcome our panelists. We're going to start with Auntie Noelette Poulsen. Want to come up? Auntie Charmagne. We saw in the video. Kamaile. He is the cinematographer for Christine Walker's documentary on Iosepa. We're very lucky. Because JR has already interviewed all of them, I get to do it today. So something I think just a broad general, if we could start with. I was surprised when I got there how many people who were there already. They were already cleaning up graves. It was hard to find a parking spot. There were so many people. People would just briefly share about what it takes to get the celebration going every year, and how many people are involved. First.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Just the mic. When we first moved here to Utah, 78, we didn't know anything about Iosepa. But we started to make friends with the other Hawaiians that were here and got us involved in Iosepa I think it was in the 80s. It takes a lot of work. When we first went to the place, there was nothing there. And the way we got together was we put up tarps. Sometimes camouflage. One year, Roy got us a camouflage. But we did everything that we thought could do. And so it took a lot of us on the committee to get together and plan for the food, for the entertainment, and also for celebrating the people that came to Iosepa, that were there in the cemetery. That was the main thing. We were there because we wanted to pay tribute to those buried there that came and sacrificed themselves by coming here for the gospel of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But we were able to put up a pavilion through somebody gave us money, donation or whatever. And so we were able to put up a pavilion. And when we did, my husband Richard was the president of the Iosepa Association then. And that was another task, putting up the pavilion. But I'm going to give it to you.
So we do have a committee, the Iosepa Historical Association. We have 11 people on it right now. Our president is here, Ramanuela. And we just spend the whole year getting ready for it, pretty much. We, as descendants of this original group, have the blessings of having now a kitchen to cook in, a pavilion to sit under so it's not so hot, dressing rooms, bathrooms, and they need help, but we have them. But through the years, every year, somebody does something more because of our love for the place. We just make sure that each year is better. Whatever we have to do, let's do one thing more. And that's how we've gotten to where we are today. It does take a lot of people, though. It's not just our committee. Our committee has committees, and those people are a lot of behind the scenes. Can't tell you, and you saw probably in the movie all the people that helped with the luau, doing the imu. We just have a lot of. Everybody loves Iosepa that comes there, and they want to help. So you can come and not know what you're gonna do and end up working the whole time. Or you can just come and just enjoy. There's no rules that says you have to do this and you have to do this. But we're just there to celebrate our kupuna. We love them. We love what they did. We know that they're buried there. And we want to honor them. And from so many experiences that I've had in my life, I know that they're there and they're helping us, and they give us the courage to keep going. And I often say this, and this is kind of my moniker now. If I can't go home, I can go to Iosepa and still have that same thing.
Amen. Mahalo, Auntie. Yes, Iosepa has become a place to feel the spirit of our people. I was not one to spend the camp up there. I was in Salt Lake making trouble while all my siblings were at Iosepa helping. My journey to Iosepa happened later in life when I told JR about it, and she asked if we could present a film idea to her producer. And then I quickly called my auntie Charmagne and said, hey, what do you think about doing this with me? And she didn't think she didn't want to do it without Auntie Noi. Right? We're community people. But I'm very honored to bring this story to fruition for Auntie, who has spent a lot of her life. I mean, her kids are here, they'll tell you. A lot of her life dedicated to teaching the Kahiki at the cemetery why we honor our ancestors, to feel their spirit, to listen to their voices that are still speaking with us. I always say Hawaiians have one foot on earth and one foot in heaven because of our connection to our people and its spirit, their spirit. But yeah, that is my story and journey with Iosepa.
Yeah, so I'm actually here on behalf of Christine Walker, who's the filmmaker behind another documentary on Iosepa. And she asked me to be here in her place and speak. And so it was a real privilege and an honor to be asked to serve as the cinematographer, to be behind the camera on this documentary. I've lived in Utah for the past couple of years. I'm Kanaka Maoli, I'm Hawaiian, but my ancestors were not in Iosepa, but I felt it was important as a Hawaiian to learn more about my people, right? We're all still one people as Hawaiians. And so to have the opportunity to go out there on Memorial Weekend, to see the place, to see the people. And I think one of the things that impressed me most about Iosepa was seeing the strength and the resilience of the descendants just as much as the kupuna, right? Like the act of trying to come back and restore this place, to build like as much as they've done to create the pavilion, to create all the dressing rooms. So like it's almost a similar effort to what your ancestors did to make that land livable for them while they were there. And I thought that was really beautiful and powerful. And I was just glad to observe it, to be a part of it, to be welcomed there, was really special.
Auntie Charmagne, from what I understand, you have a very interesting story about finding your own grandfather's gravesite.
It's actually, it isn't my grandfather, but it is an ancestor. One of the things that I've taught the children to do, because we ask them to help us clean the graves. And so one of the things I ask them to do is to find the grave that they want to clean, is to just walk around there. Walk around in between the graves, walk around. And when you have a feeling for somebody, that's the one you want to take care of. And so I did it when I told them to do it. And I found a grave that just, I was overcome by this feeling. And so I decided that was my grave from now on, and I cleaned it every year. And I loved that grave, and I talked to him. It was just a a really special experience for me. So about 5 years later, my cousin came from Hawaii. She wanted to see Iosepa, so I took her out to Iosepa, and she goes, "You know, we have someone here, right?" I go, "No, we don't have anybody here. I've checked all of them." She said, "No, we have somebody." And she walked right over to the grave that I cleaned. And she said, "This is our fam. This is our family." And so I listen now. Whenever I'm there, whatever they want me to know and to do. And it has directed my life for the last 35 years. To listen to them, to do what they want us to do, and to be strong like they were, because you go out there, you know, there had to be something special, because there's nothing there. But there's everything there when you learn about it.
So we talk about the baby's breath. We talk about the baby's breath.
Oh, that was another one. There was a grave next to my grave. And my friend Leilani used to clean it, but she hadn't been coming for years. So I started cleaning that one too. And Kāʻeo, I don't know if Kāʻeo's here, but Kāʻeo and I were walking past that grave, and we smelled the baby's breath, you know, that beautiful smell of a baby breathing on you. And he looked at me and I looked at him, and we looked around looking for the baby. There was no baby. So we just kept cleaning the grave, and it was that sweet baby smell. So I had to go research that girl. And it turns out that she died in childbirth, and her baby were buried in that grave. So things like that happen there. And if you're ready for it, and if you really want it, it's there. And I think they wait every year for us. I think they wait for us to come, and they celebrate with us just the way that we're celebrating them.
I don't know if you remember seeing the picture of the monument that we put up for my grandma Hannah Kaiapa. When we had that presentation down there in the grave, you know, all we did was talk. And we went up to the pavilion, and everybody's there saying, who was singing? We heard this beautiful choir. Weren't you guys singing? And we says, no, we weren't singing. So we know that they were there, celebrating with us through music. And so stories like this happens a lot out there, Iosepa. Our kids loved coming when they were little. They still do love coming. Now my grandkids love coming, and they're here tonight. But it's a place that, you know, do you think a lot of people stop coming because of the mosquitoes? There's a lot of mosquitoes, and there's a lot of no-see-ums, they call it, where they get into your hair and all that stuff. But once we put up that pavilion, there was no mosquitoes around in the pavilion. But people started not coming. And of course, we didn't have bathrooms, and so that's another thing, people started not coming. But to me, I thought, if the Hawaiians could survive here all the years that they were there, with the cold and the heat and the bugs, why can't we do it just for one night or 2 nights at the most? And that's what kept me coming out to Iosepa. Forget about the bugs, I just thought about the people that lived there. One of which was my great grandmother.
I was actually just going to ask you about that. Something that I love in that last documentary was about the three of you reading about Hannah and this early voice to get the vote for women while Hawaiians could not vote yet. Could you talk a little bit about that process? And I understand that Auntie Noa has her speech that she gave in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, we just discovered recently her speech. We didn't know, we knew she went. She was asked by the movement, the women's suffrage movement, to represent for Hawaiian women And she had just barely came from Hawaii. She's been there a year with her mom, Makanoi, and some other relatives. And they asked her, will you join us to go to DC to fight for your people? So she did. She went with the women, and Queen Liliuokalani was already there. And she invited Hannah and those that came with her to a dinner. She celebrated with them. But this is the speech that I want to read to you. Hopefully. Okay, this says Sketch of Hawaiian Women. It says, I have come on behalf of my people, the Hawaiian women, that they may be allowed the same privileges as the women of America. Here I wish to say, in the early days of Hawaii, the Hawaiian race were ignorant, and like all other nationalities where civilization had not reached, were savages. But when the word of God was brought to us in the year 1820, the Hawaiian race accepted it, and today they are equal in education, intelligence, and capability to the people of the United States and all other nations of the globe. I have been present at some of your meetings and find that the women of this country are working for the advancement of the human race, more especially for the rights of women. If the right to vote is accorded to the women of this country, I hope and pray that the same privileges may be granted to the Hawaiian women. And I ask of the National Council of Women, whose noble souls prompted them to be present at these meetings, that they will give me all the aid in their power to forward the fulfillment of my petition. This is hand Kāʻeo. So it was really, really special when we found out her speech, because we didn't know that they had a record of it, but they had it down in Salt Lake, in the archives. That's when we were there with Charmagne. So it just made me feel that she was such a strong woman. And I think one of the reasons why she was picked to go, she was well educated. She went to several schools. She was born in Kona. She went to school there. Then she went to Oahu and went to Kauai Seminary School. And then she went to Makiki Girls School. So she was very, very educated, and she could speak fluent English as well as Hawaiian, where her mother only could speak Hawaiian. So I think she was picked because of that. That's what I feel. And but say more. When they came up, Makanoi, they brought with them 506 names to do temple work for. And part of the names that they were brought up was Queen Liliuokalani gave them permission to do some of the ali'i names. So some of the ali'i names was like Princess Kaiulani and Queen Kalākaua were some of the names that they did. So the Queen was involved a lot with Iosepa and the Hawaiian people and the church. But they brought up the 506 names. My grandma Makanoi passed away about a year and a half after they came to Utah, but they finished all the 506 names before she passed. So she is one that's buried there, that we honor her. Every year we go up there. And her daughter Hannah got married in the temple with her sweetheart and cousin. And then a year later, they had a baby girl at Iosepa. But she was premature. She was only 3.5 pounds. They decided to go back to Hawaii. And this baby was like a year and a half old. They went through San Francisco because that's where most of the boats came. The ships came in. And when they got there to San Francisco, this girl died. So she's buried there in San Francisco. They went back to the Big Island, and she proceeded to have 9 more children. And out of the 9, only 2 survived. The rest died in infancy. And the 2 that survived was Samuel, who changed his name to George, and his sister Hi'ile. And Samuel is my grandfather. So we have big connection to Iosepa that my mom never told us about. I don't know if you guys have that same experience where they don't tell you stuff like my mom didn't until up here, and she goes, "Where's Iosepa?" I'm like, "Look, Iosepa." Anyway, I think that's one of the reasons why we need to just to help or the stories of people that came.
Thank you. Mother, I'm interested in you saying that you were causing trouble when you were younger, and coming back to Iosepa a little bit later in life. And I wonder, I actually think it's probably more common. Sometimes you disconnect and then you find a need to connect later on. Can you talk about some of the lessons you've learned since returning?
Sure. That we will always call you auntie and uncle. That no matter how long I've been away, I'll still be received by my family. That I loved because I recognized everyone. I know we would have hula, and we would have music and luau's together. You guys remember me when I was young. Yeah, a little bit. Kolohe, I own it, but I think because of the work that I do now as a community health worker, we want to make sure that our communities feel safe, have the things that they need to prosper, and can take care of their children and give them a better future. It is our Native cousins in America that teach us about preserving preserving our earth for the next 7 generations. And I think we share that value where we want to take care of earth, water, and people so that we can continue our generations upon this earth. And the environmental impacts, we feel it first on the islands and us as Indigenous people, because we rely on clean water. We rely on earth that can grow our fruits and vegetables and our medicines that our ancestors taught us. And we were scientists even without a textbook. Like, I really embraced that as someone who works in academia, that truth is infinite and it's in our DNA. This is one thing I know about storytelling is we all experience history in a different way. We all remember it and tell it in a different way. We should not criticize. And this is what we do in our community when we're talking to folks about their health, their behavior, and what they need to change those things. We can't discriminate. We can't hate. We have to understand and have compassion and empathy for each other. And I also know that my ancestors are talking to me and through me. So I embrace that now, where I think as a young Hawaiian, I grew up in the 80s, so it was very unpopular to be Hawaiian. We felt like we couldn't even go to our own beaches without being treated like outsiders. All the places we would go, where we would go for years, just dive into the ocean, started getting fences and signs that said, private property, keep out. Whatever, we took the fences down. Right, this is my surf spot since I was Hanabata days, climbing guava trees and getting my neighbors upset because I was eating their fresh guavas. I remember that childhood so well. The days seem so long ago, but when you can connect with your people, with your kupune, and talk about the old days, that's something to treasure and remember and fast forward. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. Would you all join me in thanking them with a big round of applause? After they come and talk about the 5-minute cut of the documentary they're working on. He was interviewed, was there for a lot of the interviews, and we'll need Kamaile to come and get that video going for us.
Yeah, so first I want to shout out Erica, who's in the back over here. She's the official DP, the real camera woman behind this documentary. I was just there to help. But no, it was an incredible experience coming up there with all of our gear, and we were just kind of thrown into it. And again, like we've all heard about the conditions up there. It's very dusty, very dirty, but we're making it something great. And it was just again, like incredible to be a fly on a wall in some of these experiences. And one thing that's really interesting about Iosepa is, you know, Hawaiians are an island people, right, from the Pacific. How do they adapt to a desert climate? And seeing the ways that they made it work, the ways that, for instance, the preparation of the imu, which is traditionally done with the flora that's available in Hawaii that doesn't exist in Utah. You have to come up with a different solution. And so the kids would go up into the mountains and collect watercress to be the vegetation that you wrap the pig in to cook it in the ground, right? If you've ever experienced that. And they continue to do that today. They send the kids, the descendants, the keiki up to the mauna to go collect the watercress. And I was able to be there for that. We might see some clips from that here, as well as the preparation of the imu, which is something you got to get up at like 4 a.m. to start doing the day of to get ready for the luau. Just really incredible work. And then the service that was held on Sunday, the testimony meeting, just really beautiful to hear everyone share how much this place meant to them and their ancestors. So what we're seeing here is just going to be kind of a brief trailer of some of the clips that we were able to capture, which will be developed later on into a feature-length documentary. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you so much.
My parents started bringing me out here. It's just a beautiful, peaceful place, and I'm sure they felt that as well, to see what they had accomplished in the time that they were here. That's our main reason for coming back, to take care of their graves and to feel what they've left.
praise them for their endurance. Because of who they are and what they came from to what they came to was endurance. They were shipped out here and they were able to thrive. Regardless of the situation, they made a home for themselves. They didn't complain about it. They weren't saying this wasn't fair. You know, we deserve better. That's not what they said. They say, okay, this is what we got. We're gonna make a home. And they went up to the mountains and they found the water and they made the water come down to their homes and they made this place blossom like a rose. And 5 years in a row, it was voted the most beautiful town in Utah. And that's not victimness. They endured. And that's the legacy.
I told the children to go through the graveyards and adopt whoever you have a feeling about. So they'd walk around the graveyard and they'd raise their hand, this is mine, this is mine. So we all adopted a grave and I adopted one too. And I had this feeling, but I didn't know that person. And then about 5 years later, my cousin came to Iosepa and she goes, we have somebody here. And she went right to that grave that I was cleaning for 5 years. So those are the kinds of things that happen to you at Iosepa.
Erica? Where's Erica? There she is. Mahalo again for being behind the camera. Beautiful. We can't wait till the big time release. Is that going to be on Apple TV?
I have no idea.
Let's try it. Let's try it. But mahalo again. That was beautiful. So again, let's thank our panelists that were here tonight, as well as our moderator. I'm going to say a few words because they're our dancing aunties. Are you ready? Okay, get ready. Let's move. And our musicians, you ready?
Josh.
Okay, wonderful. I'm going to say a few things and we're going to close the evening with a tribute to our ancestors at Iosepa. The dancing aunties are going to pay this tribute through hula. And then afterwards, we'll all stand. Let's join hands in a big circle. The Kamehameha School is going to join us in singing Hawaii Aloha. Okay, so we'll all do that together. So you'll need to move quickly into a big circle and that's ready. All right, so we mahalo everyone for being here again. We know who participated again. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Our Youth Tribal Council, thank you. Mahalo for being here tonight. It's an honor to be with you. And I've enjoyed this throughout the evening. Mahalo, appreciate that. We'd like to thank our supporters and sponsors. The Office of Hawaiian Affairs is one, Kamehameha Schools. OEV again, this is being live streamed as we speak throughout the world. But we mahalo OEV TV. But most important, we mahalo all of you for being here tonight. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. Apologize for the maze to get here and for the parking, but you all endured. And again, we appreciate your kindness in being here tonight. So with that, let's bring the dancing aunties up. The food is ready to be served. It has already been blessed. So go ahead after we're done singing. Just form that line and enjoy the Ono food this evening. Mahalo.
So these are the dancing aunties. I decided to volunteer at my senior center. And this is who I got in my class. So I'm so excited because I didn't know I would have Hawaiians in it. Okay, so the reason we're wearing the yellow roses is because in Iosepa, the yellow roses grew profusely. They were like weeds. They were so profusely growing there. And so we honor, and also our Hawaiian Civic Club, it is our color, our color and our flower is the Loke Mele Mele. So that's why we're wearing those tonight. Oh, and these are my boys.
All right, let's all gather in a circle, join hands. Mighty is sitting in
Kamaile, are we gonna do your Sept song? I know it's Hawaii Aloha and then after. Yeah, let's do.
We should be before, because this song is a farewell song.
Okay.
So do it for well.
Okay.
No.
No.
Aloha, everyone. And to our guests online, our aunties have requested and had made a request for the Iosepa song. This was written and performed by the troubadours in Iosepa times. One thing I also wanted to share is that there were Holly advocates and friends that are helped us with Iosepa. And one of their descendants had a quilt. Hulita, mommy. Sorry, of course, Keiki, right? Hungry and tired. Excuse us. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. So yes, there is a quilt that was made by Iosepa women over 100 years ago. Now at the Church History Library, thanks, JR. And you can go visit that if you're ever in Salt Lake City. And mahalo to the Warups family for providing that to us, returning that history to us. So without further ado, my cousins Josh and Jerry will play Iosepa.
First? Okay, here we go. Okay, everybody hold down for a little longer. We're gonna love each other today. Like it or not. Aloha all around. Of you and tears. But I oh, the and the thing my heart and it's happy. To the cottage near Hawaii. Iosepa, touch me, be the foreign of the eye now to wait for us. Come, may I look. Iosepa,
Aloha, oi.
Hold on, hold it strong. See? Huh?